guys, welcome back. Today's module is going to be all about our calorie quality, our calorie density, and also our food environment. This stuff is really cool. I think a lot of times people forget to talk about these certain things when talking about weight loss and prescribing it to people. These are really, really important. This is something I learned through Stephen Guyenet, which is a neuroscientist, which is really, really cool stuff, guys. Very, very important when losing weight because it can make this very specific to the individual. And it's solely not just about being in a calorie deficit like a lot of IG influencers say. So this is going to be understanding what and how much is in our food in relation to overeating. One of the main issues for people is this calorie consumption of eating too much calories in excess, and that's the reason why we end up gaining weight. And this is a continual habit that happens, and so we're going to kind of understand that. So calorie quality, density, and environment, this is just an often overlooked factor, right? And so I want to address these today. First thing is you're going to be your calorie quality, okay? The idea of calorie quality is that the foods we're putting in our body have a majority of our vitamins and minerals. So that's going to be your micronutrients. We want to start choosing foods that have a nutritional value when eating them. And I say that the 80-20 rule applies here. 80% of your food should be whole foods, shopping around the perimeter of the grocery store. 20% should be processed foods, which is going to be found in the aisles of the grocery store. What makes a food good quality? Generally, we can tell if a food has a nutritional value from the food label. If you look at the ingredient list and there's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, chances are that the food has a ton of fillers, antioxidants or toxins and stuff like that. And, it's something's been genetically engineered to it. So that's GMO. That's basically why we want to eat non-GMO, because we know that it's not genetically modified. So that way we want to make sure that we're choosing good quality foods. Where we find these, like I said, around the perimeter of the grocery store. With the exception of, your beans and protein bars, your whole grains and things like that, where you can get your fiber in your diet, which is super important to maintain your gut health. Frozen versus fresh. Which foods are better? Is your frozen vegetables the same as your fresh ones? The same thing goes with fruits. Obviously, I would say that when eating smoothies, definitely get more frozen fruits. It definitely is a lot better. What I would say, though, is generally, obviously, if we're going to go like something like the farmer's market, you're going to get really quality vegetables. And most of the time, I would basically say get your vegetables fresh. Doesn't really matter when it comes to frozen or fresh fruits. I'd say that if you absolutely need to, it's really not that big of a deal if you get something like frozen broccoli, anything like that, frozen rices, frozen any of that. For vegetables, it's okay. Frozen carrots, I would just say do not get canned, because frozen is definitely a lot better than canned. So definitely avoid canned vegetables if you can. Meats, when choosing meats, I definitely be careful here. Obviously, the farms in America are very terrible to the animals. They actually inject cows with antibiotics, to basically genetically modify the meats that we're intaking in our body. That can definitely lead to a lot of stuff. So obviously, at any times you can go, with chicken that doesn't have antibiotics, things like that. Making sure you're getting your grass-fed beef, things like that. Just be selective when it comes to your meats. Yes, good quality meat is going to be higher priced. I'm sorry, but you're definitely going to be feeling a lot better. And the quality of protein you're going to get in your body is a lot better. Wheat versus white, very, very obvious here. Your wheat bread's going to actually have your whole grains and fiber that we're looking for. No worries there. Calorie density. This is a really important one, guys. This is all about, feeling full for a longer period of time. Generally, your calorie density is going to be basically relative to the weight of the food. So how dense our food actually matters. What I'm referring to is the amount of calories in food in relation to its weight, right? The more nutrient dense a food is, will keep us feeling fuller for a longer period of time, where the more calorie dense the food is, we're going to be using the energy really quick. The good example here, guys, is a chocolate bar. Chocolate bar is very light in weight, but it's got a lot of calories. We're going to be able to use the chocolate bar a lot faster, just because that's going to be pure sugar. Our body likes to use sugar, so it's going to burn out sugar like fast as hell. So we want to make sure that we're being aware of calorie density, guys. Okay, so generally, right, when a food is high in density, the weight of the food is low, but the amount of calories are high. this makes the food dense. Nutrient-dense food is going to be lighter in weight, but it's going to have, good amount of calories. So your vegetables. If you look at broccoli is very light in weight, but there's going to be a good amount of calories when eating, say, 2 cups of broccoli. And you're going to keep that feeling of fullness for a longer period of time because of the fiber inside of the vegetables. So this is really important. I would also like to talk about some foods that are healthy that are going to be calorie dense. Peanut butter, your nuts, your seeds, your oils, and your bread. Chips, crackers, things like that. Chips and the crackers we probably want to avoid, but obviously your nuts or seeds and peanut butter and oils can be very healthy. What I would say, guys, is that, a lot of times people think that avocados and olive oil and all of these other things, peanut butter and almond butter and all those things are really healthy for us. They are, but please be aware of how much you're eating of these, because before you know it, those calories creep up on you, and before you know it, you have barely any calories to work with inside your macros for the rest of the day. So those foods definitely have a lot of calories inside of them, but generally seem, no big deal. I'm eating a handful of peanuts. You're actually taking a lot of calories. Continued, right? Foods that are overhyped, those are what I was just talking about. Fruits and vegetables are really good. Obviously, when it comes to cravings and things like that, watermelon, strawberries, blueberries, those things that have a lot of water, so key. I definitely recommend that. You can eat a pound of watermelon and I think it's like 130 calories. Very, very key to fill up your water to feel full for longer periods of time when we get further into a cutting process of losing fat, guys. Foods to focus on. Here you go. These are some really good calorie dense foods, really nutrient dense foods. So check them out. Food environment. This is really cool. This is what I was kind of talking about before with foods being genetically modified. This is a huge role when we overeat. If you look out your window right now, you could probably walk to some sort of fast food restaurant, right? And that's generally why we overeat, is because the convenience. Our environments are literally formed around overeating. If you think about it, you can literally, there's apps, there's food apps. You can literally walk places. The accessibility to these places are unreal. I don't know if you guys have known this. However, there are 38,695 McDonald's in the world, 670 Whataburgers alone in Texas. It is super available for us to choose these foods that are going to be not necessarily the best options for us. That does not mean that if you're on the go, you cannot have these. I'm a big advocate of making sure that we can have the foods that we enjoy eating while losing weight. Of course, it's better to have these foods than to starve yourself. So don't worry about that. Let's just be aware of eating these things in excess. The brain is absolutely crazy, guys. Anytime you're actually taking these foods, we're actually latching onto our 5 senses. The smell of the burger, the taste of the burger, the location of the burger, where it is. So anytime you drive past that joint, you're going to immediately think about these certain things. You're going to have some cravings to want those foods. It's absolutely crazy. It actually enhances our reward system, because anytime we feel pleasure, our body actually remembers the whole entire process of, starting when you walked into the place, to the smell of the taste, to the taste of the burger, to the company you were with, the people you were surrounded with, right? Literally the location, everything. It attaches a meaning to this, and it knows that anytime you think about these things, it's searching for a reward that it can get. So the brain and the reward system is very, very crazy. We're going to be talking about this more in the habit section of the modules, which is an absolute game changer when it comes to dieting and also just behavior change in general. So, I just want to challenge you guys. If you were to do this exercise right now, you think about a fair that you were last at, maybe it was the Texas Fair. You could probably think about, all of these things. I mean, you can remember, what car you were driving, how much your ticket costed, right? Who were you with? What the funnel cake tasted like? Who doesn't like funnel cake? It's bomb as hell. What it smelled like, the rides or games you played, and the crazy amounts of unordinary people we come across at the fairs, which makes the fair the most fun place ever, is people watching. Let's be real, guys. It's like literally going to a Walmart. People watching is so much fun. But again, this is talking about the reward systems and your brain circuits. We literally attach meaning to this, and anytime you think about this, it actually stores into a circuit that does trigger your reward system, which can be a reason why we overeat really a lot here, guys. So a really cool module today. I kind of want to explain these type of things because these are often overlooked in such an important piece of information when wanting to lose fat. So I hope this module will help, guys. I really think that this is a game changer when it comes to losing weight.